Ted Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers.
Ted Jones, I also call him the eighth wonder of the real estate world.
Ted Jones, who knows, it could be...
Ted Jones?
The Ted Jones World Podcast.
Yo, what is up? Welcome to the Ted Jones World Podcast. This is number 24. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. That one was number 22. That episode was number 22. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. How's everything going? Yes, we have a new little seated setup. We got Pat over here to the left of me. He's not on the 45-degree angle. Producer Pat, how are you, man?
Great. How are you? It's so good to be on the couch with you.
I'm great. Yeah, it's really lovely to have you on the couch and, arm's length.
Thanks.
So that is great, man. So anything going on your end on the exciting spectrum?
On the exciting
this week?
spectrum?
Or no? Yes.
Well, it's pretty early in the week still. So
okay.
Nothing true exciting has happened yet, but I'm still holding out hope that something very exciting will happen by the end of the week.
Hopefully, man. It was rainy today. A little bit of real estate news. You and I were chatting earlier in the week, actually. So it's crazy that this literally changed overnight. So basically. You had texted me the other day and you were like, yo, Jones, there's no more broker fees, bro. So when my lease is up in March, I could just get an apartment. I'm steering clear of that 15% charge. So you thought you were basically going to save around $5,000 or so.
So
and
I thought.
Now it doesn't really appear that way.
The judge, so the New York Real Estate Board, also known as REBNY,
nice,
appealed to a judge in the Circuit Court of Albany.
Right.
I don't think
I'm
that
let you
was
figure
it,
this
but-
one out. Well, anyway, you put a temporary ban on it.
Basically, they sued the state, and he gave New York until March 13th, which is 2 days before my lease ends.
Right.
A day to respond, and he put a stay on the new law.
Well, you actually should be good because I feel like nowadays landlords for the most part pay those broker fees, and also there's definitely
I paid a broker fee this last apartment I moved into.
There's definitely no shortage though of apartments that don't have fees though, so you will be able to find one. It's just a matter of I'd
have to.
It really depends. Like maybe it's 50-50 or 60-40 in terms of apartments that do actually have fees and apartments that don't have fees. So
the problem is the neighborhood I want to live in has not many apartments to begin with because it's a small neighborhood.
Right.
So, I'm already at a disadvantage.
Right. I mean, dude, you're also very picky about where you'd like to be in.
That's true.
On this particular island of Manhattan.
That's true.
Would you ever move to Brooklyn?
No.
Are you a Brooklyn guy?
No.
Nothing outside of Manhattan?
No, dude. No way. Could never be me.
You're a fancy guy.
Not even that, man. It's just, I like the hustle and bustle of Manhattan.
So when you actually moved to Manhattan how many years after college was that? That wasn't right after college. Since we became boys, it was like third year out of college, you and I.
I graduated. It was about 2 years after college.
2 years after college, you moved to New York, and you've been here since then. So the last 5 years.
It'll be 5 years.
And you're not leaving. Are you gonna make a family here, bro?
I don't know. We'll see.
We're gonna get into your mind.
I
feel like this episode, man. Just want to know everything that Pat's saying. Am I gonna have a family here? I don't know, bro. The thought of real estate kind of depleting in New York is saddening me. And
meaning what? Depleting meaning what?
Well, I mean, apartment sales have been the lowest they've been. Values have been the lowest they've been since the first quarter of 2014. Okay. I read that.
Right.
That's
the
other day.
Though. That's not that bad.
Well, but if you think about it, man, if you had spent, let's say $4 or $5 million in 2014 on an apartment, and then you put in $1 million in renovation, you'd say by now that you want to be selling the apartment for $10-11 million. You know what I mean? But with putting in that $1 million in initially, you're back at square one, and you've also been paying taxes and paying a mortgage for the last 5.5 years. So that is the standpoint where a lot of people are in Manhattan in terms of now they just want to get rid of what they have, and people are just not buying
investment properties,
right? But if you moved into that apartment and you didn't spend any money, I mean, you're still losing money. Either way, you're going to be out money just because of the fact over the past 5.5 years, the market's just been and mortgage.
But that's anywhere. I mean, you're taking a gamble on any house you buy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a gamble when you're buying in New York in 2014. Right. In 2014, though, you could think that the prices would consistently continue to go up, but it appears that there, was a bubble. And now people are, people are freaking out a little bit. So as I've been saying since episode number 1, don't buy houses. I don't think it's a good investment.
You heard
buy
it here first,
but remember,
folks.
but remember, what I was saying. I was like, buy this stock, buy that stock, and I think I'm strong on. I'm bullish, as they say, on the companies that I think are
Wall
good
Street.
companies, bro. Like a Beyond Meat,
Yeah.
a weed company. Sorry, man. Beyond Meat just went into KFC. Why do you hate Beyond Meat? You don't hate Beyond Meat. You just hate me talking about it. What?
Well, I actually went to shout out Ruby's. I went to Ruby's in Soho, Nolita, the other day. I told you this.
Is that a
And I
pizza place
ordered-
again?
No, that's Ruby Rosa. It's
Oh, okay,
next
right.
to
Oh,
Ruby
right.
Rosa. Ruby's is an Australian-owned kind of American fare food.
Chic fare American.
Yeah, exactly. So they have a really good burger there, and I went and I ordered the Bronte burger. And the Bronte burger comes in Beyond Meat burger and regular. And I did not say Beyond Meat. I said I want the Bronte burger, and guess what they brought me?
A Bronte burger.
A Beyond Meat Bronte burger.
Yes.
And I ate it. I didn't make us
Yes.
think about it because I was so hungry. I
Good.
didn't send it back.
And I bet it tasted good.
No, it tasted like trash.
No,
dude.
you know what?
It
I
was
know it
gross.
didn't taste
It was
like trash.
rubber.
You're just being
Literally had
dramatic
the
over here.
consistency of soft plastic.
What are you doing still eating burgers over here, man? That stuff's
Burgers are
bad
the
for the
best.
environment. So, speaking of being bad for the environment, man. So Donny T's not getting
Who's
kicked
that guy?
out of office. Your boy Donald Trump's not
My
getting
boy?
kicked out of office. I'd say neither of our boys. We do say your boy pretty frequently here on the
boy.
Ted Jones World Podcast. But let's be clear: producer Pat and myself are not boys with the Donny T. The guy is brutal. The guy is not
gonna
nice.
he's gonna get
He is
reelected,
rude.
so might as well
yeah,
strap in,
man.
pal.
You know what? I'm worried about that. I was pretty certain that this guy was also going to get kicked out of office, but I wasn't fully aware of the impeachment process. But I just feel like if anyone abuses their powers and they're just being an asshole, ow, I just bit my tongue.
Oh, you okay?
Woo! Yeah, that was a chomper. Anyway, if anyone's just being like an asshole like that, like I just don't understand why there would even be a question to keep this guy in office with how many lies he's told. And he just set such a negative, a negative example for
try it
everyone,
again?
man.
Who's
Don't
gonna-
you agree?
Yeah, I just feel like no one's gonna beat him.
Like, I mean, like I've said in the past,
Cody?
hopefully, Bloomberg.
Bloomberg.
But I don't know if
know, man.
Bloomberg can take him. But just like I was very weirded out that he just didn't get impeached, and like we
did
have
get
become right, but like fully kicked out of
I know,
office.
I know.
So what's the proper like word for that then?
Removed from office.
Like right, so there's no actual word.
I don't think so. No.
But
not sure, though.
it's just like nuts, dude. What happens if he gets like voted back into office? I mean, we're screwed.
In what way?
I think environmentally we're screwed. I think
How? I'm not
as
saying this because
a
I just
people
like to be
we are
devil's
screwed.
advocate.
How?
How would the environment be screwed? What?
I think that he is putting in measures towards us not being environmentally conscious. In my opinion,
Yeah.
am I right?
Can you cite certain examples?
No, I can. Well, I
See,
can't.
this- no, I don't-
okay, like
I'm
pulling
not-
out of the Paris climate change. That was a big one.
not the name of it.
Still being, what was it?
I don't know. It's not the Paris
It
climate
was the
change.
Paris something. All right. Well, I don't know. Well, you know what I mean. I just feel like he's not environmentally conscious. Do you agree with me? He promotes coal, promotes guns.
This is why I'm calling out.
Whatever. I just don't
like to call it when people like to make statements. I like to test them on it.
Well,
to make
dude,
sure that
you're
they know what
not.
they're
You're
talking
not
about.
supposed to. Well,
Because
I kind of know what I'm talking about, and it's called the. It was the Paris Agreement. Oh, so it's close. What the hell did I say? Paris Climate Change Agreement. Yeah, that's what I said.
what it is?
Yeah, that's actually what it's called. So yes,
Oh, you just said
while
the Paris-
I
okay,
was
sorry.
talking
You were
out of my
close.
butt, it actually came out of my mouth, and I was correct.
I don't believe in partisanship, man. I don't believe in a one party or a two party system. I don't believe in a
Well, what do you
a
mean
president.
by that? What do you mean by that?
I don't,
Okay.
I don't believe that
It should be
that
Democrats or
Democrat versus
Republicans.
No.
Right.
I think any sane person falls somewhere in the middle. And if you
100%.
I think the media blows
Sure.
it up that you have to be one side or the other.
Totally. I agree. And I just think anyone who's a nice guy who supports the legalization of marijuana, doesn't like guns, and likes healthcare for all. Those are my four things.
But that's very liberal. So that you fall
All
into the
right.
Democratic Party.
yeah, but I'm willing to hear Republican-esque ideas or independent ideas. You know, I don't have anything against any particular party at this point. And I'm not a very political guy. I don't know if you can tell, but just from like past episodes, like I remember when Ricky Velez was on for a second, we spoke briefly about politics. Like, you know, I don't know shit, but just to the effect that like I think there are a few things that I believe in that should be pushed forward. I believe so. Like if you're saying that I have a liberal stance, well, whatever that may be, but maybe on other things I'm more conservative. Like you should you should only cross the street when it says walk.
There you go.
That's very conservative.
Liberals, they don't wait for the sign.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
they'll go when
walk.
that shit's blinking. All right, Pat. Well, since you are quizzing me on my politics over here, let's go to the next topic, please. Dude, coronavirus.
Are you sure you still want me on the couch?
What is going on? Yes, of course. I still want you on the couch over here. I smell your scent. You're never leaving. Okay. Dude, coronavirus, are they underreporting it? So they're reporting that 45,000 cases have now been confirmed and just broke the 1,000 death toll. Dude, I gotta think that they're underreporting.
They're saying that they're
at least
underreporting.
half.
I've heard 50,000.
You've heard 50,000 cases?
Yeah, 50,000 deaths.
50,000 deaths. Well, apparently there's only been 1,000 confirmed deaths right now.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear 50,000 deaths?
Or maybe it was 50,000 cases.
Yeah, I think so. Because I have, let me just pull up my source right here, newsweek.com, official corona death toll surpasses 1,000, more than 45,000 affected. So about 100 people have been dying per day over the past couple of days, but hopefully it doesn't get too crazy. But there was a doctor in Hong Kong who said that this could kill like 50 million people if it's not taken care of.
Yeah,
I would think that like it would be dude. I would think that it would be like pretty.
But the flu is
far
it's
eastern.
just as contagious.
Right. Yeah, you have been saying that. You have been saying that.
Why it's. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's a stronger form. Maybe it's a stronger virus that like can take over more in proximity. I don't really know, but yeah, the flu has taken on more lives for sure this year. But like just a crazy thought that like people are literally stranded on cruise ships, like people who have taken a cruise to China and now are trying to make their way like back to the United States and they can't. They're just like ported somewhere. Bizarre. I actually heard that also one of the infected ships is going to be at in New Jersey, like docking in New Jersey. Yeah.
There's a lot of like
so we'll see what happens with
Chinese whistleblowers that are
I also saw that too.
They're like
this
taking
one
videos.
This one journalist walked into a crematory and saw like 8 bodies in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just crazy shit like that. So I cannot imagine that they're reporting properly. Yeah. And also, in a place where, in a place like China, that's so enormous. Like I feel like they're just trying to keep people from freaking out, even though that's maybe virtually impossible with all the deaths.
Do you think the government
stuff that's going over there?
Maybe created coronavirus and are.
Do I think that the Chinese government created coronavirus
and is like putting it around?
No, I don't think. Why would you? No, why would you think that?
Just for control.
What do you mean by that? Control? Well, I understand that there could be a theory of like
to cause
the
fear.
Government put it out there. Like the CIA
to
being
cause fear, so that
in charge of 9/11 or something like that.
To cause fear and for the government to step in and strong arm people.
I would think that with like a health scare or like a disease, it would be different.
Or population control.
That is something that could be viewed as being very sick, but I don't know. I think population control, especially in a place like China, I don't know, it couldn't be that like far out of like the view of like a conspiracy theorist over here.
Yeah. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just wondering.
Do you have any other thoughts about other conspiracies?
Oh yeah, I have tons, but that could be another episode.
Right. Oh, we should do a conspiracies episode. So Pat and I actually have been talking about adding in a new little segment episode here and there.
Or a new episode?
Segment episode. You
know
what
like
I mean?
A topic-based
right.
episode,
Yeah, exactly. So like we have Don't Do That every episode, which we will get to later this episode.
I know you guys
Don't worry.
dying to hear what we're annoyed about.
But just getting topics going. So like if you guys ever have a topic and would like to share it with us, you want to hear us chop it up about it, give us a holler. TedJonesWorld at gmail.com, TedJonesWorld on IG. And maybe we'll talk about it here.
Maybe
but Pat,
will.
I think conspiracies is actually a good one. And
so too.
You and I being world renowned thought processors. I think that would actually be fun. Yes, thought provokers, right? Processors. I wanted to discuss something really quickly. I went down to West Palm Beach, and unfortunately, Pat, my grandfather just passed away. Thank you very much for your condolences. Got a nice text from you. But the guy was 96 years old. A true American hero, landed on the beach in Normandy in World War II, dude, like 3 days after his 19th birthday.
Wow.
So just an experience like that where you don't even have a choice but to like get up and go fight for your country and like could theoretically die at any moment, and seeing people die like 20 feet from you on multiple occasions, it's just like a crazy thought. Just like a crazy situation that like I couldn't even fathom. And, when we had initially been talking reverting back to the Ricky Velez episode again, we were talking quickly about us potentially being ready to go to war.
Yeah.
And, while that being a joke, any time over that week span, whatever, we could have had a situation where we needed to go to war with Iran, and that starts World War III or something like that. But just really being involved in it, especially like at such a young age, and having no social media to really understand like what the hell war even entails. And, I feel like us, like, being two 28-year-olds right now, like we have access to everything at our fingertips, and know exactly like what's going on in the world really at any given time. And we have access to that just via YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, where you can find this podcast just in general. Just a crazy situation, as I've said multiple times. Self-made man, my grandpa Hank, and really did a lot for his children and grandchildren, I being his grandchild. A lot of memories with that guy. The funeral will be this week. I plan on speaking at it.
Wow.
I have a eulogy written up. Yeah, man. So that will be a lovely ceremony to put him to rest. But R.I.P. Grandpa Hank. You were a great grandpa. And I love you, man. I'll see you soon. And people sometimes get uneasy when I say see you soon. They're like, no, not too soon. I'm like, dude, at the same time, like, everybody has to die.
Okay.
Am I being too deep with this? I was detailing with Pat about everything that I had seen around my grandfather, because he actually passed away with like all 15 of us around him in the hospital, which is like a crazy thought. We haven't all 15 been together in such a long time. And then for it to just happen like that in a hospital in West Palm Beach was really a beautiful thing. And, I'm speaking about this rather unemotionally right now, which is great and cool, because I'm able to like kind of just put forth how I actually feel. Hopefully I won't get too choked up during the eulogy tomorrow. But I'm planning on wearing sunglasses with prescription in them, so that when I go up there, I'll take off the prescription sunglasses, and then I won't be able to see anyone or crying or
that's
anything.
What really gets you going.
It's watching. Like if I see any of my family members or anything, or I like say something, and then I hear like, I'm like, oh shit.
So wear your AirPods.
You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. I'll just wear like my Bluetooth AirPods. Oh God. Anyway, so on to the lighter side of the podcast. Thank you guys for
sorry, I had to throw
listening
in a joke
to this.
to
what?
lighten up the mood.
What joke? Oh, the AirPod joke? That doesn't even really have to be a joke. I feel like I could legitimately throw in an AirPod, just be like, oh, stage left, Ted. Pat, so let's go to the weekly segment. You want to play the sound on the board?
You ruined it.
We ruined it.
I guess I ruined it.
Yeah, you might have ruined it. We'll record another one. But basically, we have a button here that just says, that's just a recording of me just going, don't do that, which I'm sure you guys have also heard, because we've done it multiple times.
Many times, if you're listening.
In the episodes prior, but now we don't have it. But we have like a little fun Ricky one. If you want to play something that we're just talking about, like, okay, something that would like annoy you. This segment is called Don't Do That. And if someone annoys you, you're just like,
that's wild.
Thank you so much. That was really great. That little sound there on that soundboard. So I'm going to start off with my Don't Do That. Pat, I just looked in my medicine cabinet actually recently before this podcast, and I had seen that I had a Le Labo little perfume bottle. You heard of that?
Le Labo.
Oh, dude, like the silliest $150 I spent 3 years ago. Almost to this day, like, dude, I've used. It's a 4-ounce bottle of perfume. I've used maybe 1.25 ounces of it.
I'll take it.
You'll take it?
I'll buy it from you.
All right, well, I'll sell it to you for $150, bro.
Shit.
What do you use any perfume or cologne?
Yeah, I use cologne.
I'm just like I'm a deodorant guy. Really?
I like cologne, yeah. I like to smell good. You can't overdo it.
Yeah, it's tough to overdo it. Do you do the spray and then walk through?
No.
So how do you do it? You put a little on your hands and slap your neck?
I do one on the neck and one on the chest.
There could be a lot, no? Or it's gonna be light sprays.
It depends. It's all about like there's different colognes for different seasons. Like you don't wear winter colognes are much stronger than
wait.
Colognes.
There's season cologne?
Yes. Like
I had no
cologne
idea.
in the winter is stronger because it has to cut through the cold.
Is that like a pumpkin spice smell? Has to
something
cut
like
through
that.
the cold?
Has like a sweeter smell usually, and then a fresh scent would be something for the summer where it's a little lighter because it's hot out, so things tend to smell more.
So are you wearing deodorant also when you are wearing this cologne?
Yeah, but my cologne is.
Your deodorant is just
strong.
Antiperspirant or something like that.
Like a strong scent to it.
Right. So you don't want to get a strong scented
You don't want
deodorant with
cross-scentination.
cologne. Right.
No.
Exactly. That's why we only keep one candle lit during the fireside chats.
But
here
yeah,
at,
guys out there, it's very important
Podcast.
to choose the correct cologne for the correct even setting. There's office colognes, there's date colognes, there's club colognes, there's. You need the right one for the right setting. If you need you can DM me and I'll help you out.
Yeah,
For
honestly.
a very attractive rate.
So my don't do that is don't wear too much cologne. You know, I've definitely had my situations where somebody's just wearing too much cologne.
I've
You know,
done
I
it
might
before.
be
I
in a
haven't worn too
meeting
much,
or at
you know?
lunch or something like that. But I feel like it's tough to gauge.
Yeah.
So like, don't ever go overboard with the cologne. And I feel like it's pretty easy to go overboard.
One or two sprays is plenty. Even one.
But
This
you
summer,
don't approve of the spray and walk through because that's what I do.
You can do that, but it's not really
Effective.
It's not that effective. You're not really going to smell good.
One spray on the neck, one spray on the chest.
Yeah.
Pat Charmel producing the show, giving us cologne tips.
Yeah.
My man. So what's your go-to cologne then? What's your go-to
I have
scent?
different ones for different. Right now in the winter.
Yeah.
Fireside Pat. I'm not gonna say. I don't want people smelling.
Well, then how about this? How about if somebody DMs you, then we could get it going.
You could, yeah. Creed is a really good cologne. What else? You can just go like a designer. You can go to designer colognes.
American Eagle.
There's designer.
American Eagle.
Yeah.
So Pat, we had a lovely time last week. Did you have fun last week with Danny Palmer and Zach McGovern?
Had a great time.
Space, what the F, dude.
Although
These
they did
guys
make fun
have
of me for going to boarding school.
These guys do have about 41 episodes on their podcast, and we're catching up. Yes, they did make fun of you. They said you go to boarding school.
I went to boarding school.
But
I didn't live there.
Yeah, you just went during the day.
Yes, I was a quote unquote day student. Anyway,
I feel like that's fancier. You know what I mean? They were like giving you shit. They were like, oh, this kid Pat goes to boarding school. The producer of the show goes to boarding school, but then the kid only goes during the day. Or they didn't even say that you go during the day.
No,
They're like, this bougie ass kid. Funny.
Rude.
Yeah, rude,
Just kidding.
bros.
It's fine. You can talk
It's
shit about me.
fine.
It's fine. No hard feelings. Jeez, I can take a joke.
So, Pat, I watched the Mike Vick documentary on ESPN Plus. You watched this thing yet?
No.
So it's 2 parts. They're both like an hour and a half long. And this guy went through it, man. Being picked number 1 overall in the NFL draft, much like your boy Ryan Leaf. Excuse me, Ryan Leaf was not picked number 1 overall. I should know that. I wrote a freaking movie script about him. Ryan Leaf was picked number 2 overall, and he had just a horrid career, probably the biggest draft bust of all time. But Michael Vick, actually, after being drafted number 1 overall, signing a humongous contract, got in trouble for dog fighting.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Of course.
He was a legend, bro. Like, was on the cover of Madden 2004, was like a 99 overall in the game. He was unstoppable. Basically a cheat code if you played that game in the summer with your boys and you were Mike Vick, you could just run through defenses. So the guy had a number of properties, and at one of his houses in Virginia, he had like a big farm in the back, and his boys were living there, and they had like like 50s or 60 dogs, like just all tied up in the back, and they were all fighting, like pit bull fighting, like giving the dogs injectable drugs, and then any dog who's like losing fights, they were killing them and then burying the dogs. But like where Mike Vick like grew up and such, like dog fighting was completely normal. Yeah, like there was never any issue like with him fighting dogs or anything like that, and nobody in the community looked down on it, and nobody ever really got arrested for fighting dogs. So what is your thought on him being put in jail for 2.5 years because of dog fighting?
I don't think that's a good excuse that like where he was from dog fighting was okay. I think that killing animals is probably not good.
But do you think it's directly killing animals, or,
what do you mean? Of course.
Well, I mean, he was making them fight. I'm not standing up for him in any sense, but like I think that they definitely had to make an example.
He was
out of
making
him.
them fight, knowing that they were going to get injured enough where they had to kill them. So it is directly killing them.
Right. But a lot of drama went on in that guy's life. Spent like two and a half years in jail. Like around 2 years. But came back and then, kind of ended his career on a rather solid note. I don't know if you know, but he retired after playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's like a backup for Ben Roethlisberger. And he was actually, Ben Roethlisberger was actually also teammates with another crazy dude, Antonio Brown, before Antonio Brown went to the Raiders. But whatever, that's another story. But Mike Vick, it seems like he's owning his past, and I think he's staying pretty active in the animal rights community. And basically, for people to think that it's really not that big of a deal for dog fighting to occur is like kind of an issue. In my opinion,
that's what I'm saying.
Basically, people are saying that he was being made an example of. And that's why they gave him such a long sentence. But still, I don't think it was that long.
I heard they were doing some nasty shit to the dogs, like hanging the dogs and like doing some like really cruel shit.
They were
like drowning them and shit.
They were, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly like how much Michael Vick was on board with that. But he did have like anywhere from like 10 to 15 people at that house like at all times. Yeah. So his name was on the deed. So like I think that's why he also was in the most trouble in that situation. And like he was like known as the responsible one in that situation, which is a crazy thought. But dude, you also can't let 15 people that you like kind of, like 4 of them. And then it's like your boy, like in the crib, like fighting dogs. Like you just can't do that. That's just something you don't do. Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's wild.
Literally. That's wild. But Mike Vick back on his toes. But I suggest you all watch that, even if you don't like football. It was actually a nice little story. Pat, you watch anything fun recently or what?
We're watching
pal?
ourselves. We have ourselves on the TV.
Oh yeah, we do. If you notice that we're like looking up a little bit, we're looking at ourselves on the TV. Pat flex those biceps. Nice, dude. You look pretty nice.
Thanks, you too.
That's great. Thanks, you too. What do you mean, dude? You said I looked frail earlier when you walked in.
I walked in. I was like, you
walked in. You're like, you look frail. You need to eat some meat. I was like, dude, I'm not eating anything with anybody in it. You know what I'm saying? That's like the best thing about being a vegan right now, man. I can ask, is anybody in it? You'd be like, oh, here's the lovely dish. And then I just say, is anybody in it? That's my go-to line.
Is that supposed to be funny?
To me, it is. To us vegans, it is. Us plant-based bros. Pat, I made a wild statement earlier in the week, actually, to a friend of ours, and I had said that I think that meat is going to be illegal eventually. What do you think about that statement,
I don't
bro?
think so.
You think? Well, you think that that production is significantly. Try that again. You think that production is going to be significantly reduced in the future?
Sure. It's not going to be illegal, though.
I don't think it's going to be illegal, too. But I think that maybe it'll go back to being a delicacy, as I'll put in quotes.
It's hard to say, man. I don't think so. But there's just so many people who have eaten meat for so long.
Yeah.
I think it'll take a very long time to
transition. But I think at the same time, there are a lot of people that are starting to realize the effects of their footprint.
And getting, like, most of America cannot go and afford, like, a whole plant-based diet. It's just, produce is more expensive.
Right now, yes, you're right. You're right. Especially in places where the income is not as high as the cities and places where you have easier access to these plant-based foods. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to get, a plant-based diet, from a Dollar Tree or a 7-Eleven or something like that.
Right.
But KFC making some big steps with that Beyond Meat. So we'll see. We'll
they
see
have
if that
Beyond Chicken? It's
transfers
chicken?
to the rest of the stores in the country. Yes, it's chicken texture.
Right.
So yes, but
and it's gonna be fried.
yes. So I believe, dude, if
Interesting.
they're putting like if KFC is trusting Beyond Meat, like with that, like obviously it always matters about the bottom line.
Right.
But I think of like a place like KFC is adapting and trying new things. That's got to mean that their chicken sales are probably not as high as they were, and they're thinking about the future.
I think you think it's because they're not as high as they were.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
I would think so. I mean, like,
I think they're just
have
trying
you
to
heard
get
of
on
have
the
you heard of
times.
have you heard of Leon Meats?
Leon?
Yes, Leon.
I don't think so.
A big European meat company. They've been selling, a lot. I mean, they've been growing in volume over their, quote unquote fake meat products the last, 2 years, and their meat sales have been the lowest that they've been in a number of years. I'm not sure exactly how long, but it seems that like in places like the UK, it's really been a transformation over there in terms of like a lot more places are opening up that are just like strictly plant-based.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to continue to happen in New York. And also something that I've seen slowly starting to take over, which I think it's just going to happen more and more, is Amazon Go. Have you heard of Amazon Go? Mm-hmm. So it's just like a sandwich store. Like they have these snacks and whatever. And it's not even that big of a place, but it's just basically like a grab and go lunch kind of place, like a Pret a Manger or whatever. So you sign into your Amazon. Right. You just do it one time, and then you go into the store. They have like a little turnstile, and you walk in, get whatever you want, and walk out.
Yeah.
So you can literally walk into the Amazon Go whenever you please, grab whatever you want, and just walk right out. So basically, it's like you have a chip inside of your phone, inside of your pocket, and now it could just track everywhere you're going and just charge things to your Amazon account, which is wild to me.
What if you don't have
That's
your phone?
wild.
They're gonna a lot of people are gonna steal from that, right?
No, because in order to get in, you need to be checked in onto your Amazon account.
Oh, okay.
Which is crazy. So
Well, I
like
thought
you
said only
can't
could do
get
it
in.
one time.
Right, but you have to have your phone on you.
Right.
So you need to have like you signed into your Amazon app on
Is there
your
like
phone.
someone there, like
Yes,
letting
there's
you buy?
there's someone there like
Turnstile?
giving you instructions on how to do it, but
Gotcha.
you can only get in if you have an Amazon app, which is like exclusive as of right now. But like more people are having, more people have Amazon than they have, some other apps or whatever it is, like Instacart or whatever it is that you get food delivery from. So Amazon really making a push, and like I don't know what their stock price is at. It's got to be over 2,000 by now today.
It's up there.
Probably. But like I think it's going to keep going up. So I mean, if you have a lot of money to put into something, I would suggest maybe putting it into Amazon. But like, dude, you can only really make money on like Amazon if you're buying how many shares? Like 50 shares?
Well, no,
Kinda. I don't even know.
No, you can make more with because it's so. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you can make
You have
more
to have
with
a lot
more
of
money, but
capital,
yeah, definitely have to have a lot of capital,
So
man.
Should I buy Beyond Meat? You think?
I think it's at a good point right now.
What is it at right now?
I think it's pretty low right now. I don't know what it is today.
You said it was like 180 last week.
I don't know. 1 second. I'm gonna have to actually look that up for you. I don't know.
Sick.
I don't know if it was.
You should know it all
I don't know. You're
times.
right. I know, but dude, honestly, I tend like the stocks that I have bought. Like a lot of them, I'm letting just sit for like the next 10 years or so. So I tend to not look at it every day. But Beyond Meat is at 117 right now. It's very volatile, bro.
I think I'm gonna buy
but I would honestly just suggest buying it. Like 117 right now is a low price for it. I think it's like a $200 per share kind of situation. But what do I really know about taxes? And then also MedMen, that being like across the street, literally from the Empire State Building, they sell medical marijuana, and it's like the Apple Store of weed. So I would think that like eventually that company would just catch on fire once weed becomes legal, nationwide, because that's happening. That's what's coming, man. That's what I think, Pat. You want to bash on any of my other opinions, bro, or what?
Yeah, I do actually, but I'm not going to.
Just kidding,
I don't
man.
bash on
You've
your
been
opinions.
sweet. You've been sweet. I'm
I
joking,
kind of
bro.
do, just the meat thing, but that's I'm just joking.
You're just a big meat guy. We'll see. Why are you yawning over
I don't
there,
know,
man? You
I
tired?
don't know. Yeah, I am.
It's dinner time for us. Maybe you and I will get a nice little vegan
We'll go get a
feast.
Big Mac.
That'd be cute. Yes, Big Mac. Vegan Big Mac. Perfect. Well, also, I think McDonald's will soon follow the trend if they're not
You're getting a little
already
loose
in
there.
the. Yeah, I know. The
Sorry.
microphone's getting a little bit loose. No, we knew what you meant. Microphone's getting a little bit loose over here. But I think that like the more and more restaurants and fast food places are going to turn over. Like, Dunkin' has the Beyond Meat sausage, egg, and cheese situation. Carl's Jr. serving Beyond Meat.
Buy it up.
So we'll see, guys. Could be a good time for you to, I don't know, just buy 10 shares of Beyond Meat and hold it for a year, and you'll thank me later. You know what I'm saying? It's at 117 right now. So I think in a year it'll be close to double. We'll see. Who knows? Anyway, Pat, who are you texting over there, man?
Don't worry about it.
One of his Raya Tinder Hinge dates. This guy, Pat. Have you been on a date recently, bro? I haven't been on any at all. This past week, month.
It's too much effort, dude. I don't want to
And it's too much money. You know what? We're going Dutch.
Nah,
I'm
dude.
not usually going Dutch, but I would like to go Dutch
I'm
more.
loaded,
I should.
okay?
Yeah, my man, Pat. Well, then why can't you afford the broker fee? Just kidding. Who wants to pay that extra broker fee?
Yeah.
So
You don't get rich by paying broker fees.
that's true, man. Principles. So, Pat, I'm thinking about wrapping it up right now, unless
You should.
you have something insanely
talking about dates
insightful
anymore.
to say. Well, I mean, because dude, what do you mean? You and I have no dates right now. Like, we have no prospects.
Should we go on a little date after
situations
this?
right now? You and I,
It's only 8
maybe
o'clock.
me and you.
Yeah, let's go get some vegan food.
All right, Pat and I are going to go get some vegan food. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 24. This was lovely. 24, RIP Kobe Bryant. I got the new Kobe Bryant Memorial Magazine from ESPN, so thank you very much. This was very fun. We'll have some more exciting guests coming on the podcast, Ted Jones World Podcast. Hope you enjoyed our new angle over here. Pat Charmel, again, producer to the left. I, myself, Ted Jones over here to the right at Ted Jones World, TedJonesWorld at gmail.com. Thank you so much for tuning in.
What?